Good day, Happy New Year. Hopefully everybody made it. I'm sure some of you are nursing a little bit of a headache today. Maybe you got some burst blood vessels from praying to the porcelain god. But I'm sure it was a good time had by all. Hopefully not everybody's knuckles hurts from last night, and no stitches, and hopefully everybody's doing well. Took off here Friday. Picked up a load of pipe in Leduc, Edmonton, Alberta. And it's going down to San Marcos, Texas, which is down right in between San Antonio and Austin. Chasing the sun. Right now we're just coming into Colby, Kansas. Kansas isn't doing too bad here. I mean, it's 42 Celsius or 42 Fahrenheit, which is only one part of the world uses that stuff, so I don't know why I quote it all the time, but I think that's about 8 degrees Celsius for the rest of the world. I don't know if people know this or not about Canadians and how we end up having to live in both worlds, and not just because I cross border here, but even in Canada we use the metric as well as imperial system, more for metric, more for measuring, more for tools actually. So if you go to a store and you're going to buy a tool kit, in that tool kit you're going to have metric, sockets and wrenches, and you're going to have imperial sockets and wrenches. Now I don't know if that's the same everywhere else in the world. I'd be pretty curious to find out if that's just because of where we are so close to the neighbors, US, Canada, or if that's worldwide. I don't think it would be, because you know, everywhere else in the world almost all their stuff is manufactured in metric. So yeah, it's quite fun trying to figure out what sockets or what the bolt is, you know, because you can't just look at a bolt. I mean, maybe a seasoned mechanic could just look at a bolt and say, okay, that's metric. But you know, a guy that doesn't look at bolts all day, you know, I couldn't tell you what's metric to imperial. So we do it the old-fashioned way. Well, just start pulling sockets and trying to stuff them onto that bolt and see which works. So I'd be pretty curious to see if people buy, when they go buy like a tool kit, like a portable tool kit that's got all the sockets and the wrenches and everything, if they were, you know, in Australia, if they're metric or if they're metric and imperial. It would be pretty curious, pretty neat. Anyway, just showing you Colby. There's nothing here. I mean, it's a nice, cool little town. I like it just because it's so laid back. I mean, it's clean. Can't say that for a lot of towns in the US. It's clean. You don't see garbage flying everywhere. It's a small town. It's got everything you need from what I can see. All the restaurants, and the weather is probably, for the most part, usually pretty good, I assume. I mean, this is winter. Here we are, January, I don't even know, what is it? January 1st. Well, there you go. January 1st, and no snow. That's the big one. You know, we're in the pluses. We're not -0. We're in the pluses. So yeah. So I loaded a load of pipe. Pretty simple. Nothing to see. I'll show it to you, but it's nothing too major. 28,000 pounds. So I'm just flying. Wind's at my back. Nothing better to start the new year off. Nobody on the road. You can tell everybody's pretty tired or staying home or something, because she's been a pretty easy drive. I like taking these back roads all the way into here. It's mainly 2 lanes. everybody, I mean big trucks. Like, are you guys not trying to save any money? You know? You complain about rates so low and insurance is so high and all this, but man, I do 65. The truck's actually governed at 65 because I know I would drive faster if I had it. The truck's governed at 65, so I put it at 65. I'll tell you what, man, and I'm sure all of you know, you get past like you're standing still. And you get passed by these guys that are hauling vans. Like, you can't, what are the rates on vans? Like, man, like, you're really, the margins are so low on trucking already. And vans are already such a low margin facet of the industry. Wouldn't you think you'd want to try and keep as much of that money as you can? I don't know. What do I know? What do I know? So what's that? That's I-70. We're just going underneath here, and we go to the Petro here at Colby. We're going to top up the tanks. Put a little bit of Go Juice in. What do we got for a price here? Yeah, it's a little higher. Like back behind us, there's a truck stop. It was $3.95. Here it's $4.19. Well, that's the Cenex. $4.19. At the pump, though, it's probably about the same. $4.19 for diesel. But we get at least a 50 cent discount here. So that's why I come here. So. Alright, I'm going to go throw some money in this unit and we'll get back at you. Hold on. Well, we got a pretty good air leak, and I'll tell you what, your truck should not sound like that. Oh boy. Alright, let's go show you what I got here. We are filthy, filthy, filthy dirty. Here's a load of pipe. You ever seen a load of pipe before? Well, if not, here's one here. So, mainly bundled stuff. So all these ones on the bottom are all bundled. So there's 1, 2, 3 bundles on the bottom, one big bundle up top, and then 5 loose ones. Different sizes, 4-inch, and these are 5-inch, I believe. So when you got a bundled set and you got a loose set, you gotta strap the loose ones like they're by themselves. You can't just go all over the whole thing. So we went under the bundles and over the loose ones, same thing all the way down, and haven't gone anywhere. Thank you, Extreme. Anyway, nothing too major. 28,000 pounds of stuff. Oh, one thing, I was told this place was refusing guys to deliver there because they had wood chalk blocks in there. So luckily I've got a couple plastic ones, but people in the States, especially people in Texas, you guys don't know what happens to plastic when it's minus 30 Celsius or minus 40 Fahrenheit. That breaks into a million pieces. It's useless. That'll just get stiff, breaks, no point. Wood is the best way to go. Alright, that's enough of that. Yeah, we were super dirty. I didn't even wash it over the holiday. Mainly because when I got finished work, the temperature just plummeted. The bad thing about that is, you know, stuff on the trucks, you get what's called a cold leak. So I don't know if you can see under here, but my air conditioner is leaking. So that's no good. It goes down to Houston. Even in February, sometimes you need that sucker. But it was dripping down here. Drip, drip, drip. Had a couple hoses under the hood. Drip, drip, drip. All you got to do is tighten up the hose clamp. It's called a cold leak. When the truck's always kind of warm, you know, you don't notice them. But if you sit the truck for 3-4 days, coolant will, you know, because it's pressurized, coolant will start pushing through those hoses, and you get a little drip, drip, drip on the ground. Don't be too scared of that. It's no big deal. Just tighten up the clamp. It'll be fine. Look at that. Look at the filth. Yeah, filthy, filthy, dirty girl. Hopefully everybody, like I said before, had a good New Year's. So that guy that was next to me at the fuel island there, in my expert opinion, that wasn't, you know, he had a constant air leak, and it wasn't an air dryer, because I could see it wasn't, the air dryer on that particular truck was under the hood. And then I actually asked him, I said, do you need a help? I'll help you with your air leak, because I got fittings and all that stuff. And he says, well, I don't know where it is. I said, well, let's pop the hood. He goes, well, no, my gauges are all okay. Yeah. Yeah. I'll finish that story when I get inside. Hold on. Well, I just had a little bit of a break here. Feels so weird. I had a trimming accident. Let's fire up this beast. Hold on. I got so much dormant muscle sitting here that if I get in certain positions, I kind of twitch. Do other people do that? So I'm sitting there trimming with the trimmers, just trying to take a little bit off of the mass I had on. And all of a sudden, my shoulder tweaked and I went, beep. All right, I'll do it. I'll trim her down. You know, that's the good thing about being a man. You know, you get a bad haircut, you trim your beard too bad that you don't like it, take her down to the wood and start over. Anyway, let's get on out of here. So yeah, about that guy next to me, that truck, in my expert opinion, because I asked him, I said, I'll help you, and he said, no, we're good, gauge, no problem. And he was a brown fella. Not saying that's anything different. I've seen plenty of other fellas, but you know, we're always color coding each other these days. I mean, white is a color, right? So I would have said it was a white fella. Anyway, I'm going, no, that's a pretty big leak, and you guys heard it. There's a little bit of a squeal going on to it, and the leak was constant. So if it was the air dryer, maybe the governor out of the air dryer, it would be going psst, 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 psst. You get that? But it wasn't that. It was just you guys heard it a little bit there. Hopefully you can hear it. I haven't checked the video yet, but it was a constant air leak with that squeal. So he wouldn't open the hood. I go, I'm good. Okay. I said, you're not good. That's not good. You shouldn't go. I get fixed. Okay. It sounded like it was the fan hub. So the fan hub is an air actuated piece of equipment on the front of the truck You can manually turn it on with a switch here, or it will automatically turn on with a sensor for temp. And it's got its own clutch, and it engages the fan, so that's when your fan turns on. Now his fan was not on, so if it is the fan hub and it's leaking out of the hose, I've seen it, there's a hose going into some of them, like an airline, and because it's out front and it's constantly getting some, you know, lots of action up there, sometimes that airline will, or the fitting will get loose, and that airline will work its way out, and you get a little bit of a leak. So you just chop off the line, stuff it in there, or put a new fitting in. So I think that was his airline to the fan hub, and I think you would have more problems if it wasn't so cool out. So I think the fan is not able to go on. Just in my expert opinion, and I'm no expert, but just in my experience with having many fans go, fan hubs go, replacing fan hubs on the side of the road, stuff like that. I've heard that before, and that'd be big trouble if he's heading south where it's warmer. Anyway, enough about him. Well, what's this new year gonna look like? I don't know. We kind of do a family motto every year. Well, just my family, not an extended family, but you know, 2022 was you do you. I'll do me, you do you. And I don't care what you do, because you do it. You go ahead, you do you, man. If that's what you want to do, you do it. 2021 was fuck it. Because after the pandemic, I had to sell all my stuff. And 2021 was just a matter of surviving, and fuck it. Whatever happens, happens. But this year, I don't know. Something different. Haven't figured it out. I'll let you know though. I had some topics I want to talk about, but I can't do two things at once. I'm surprised I can steer and gear and talk at you at the same time. It's, you know, men, we're kind of limited to about 3 things. I was going to throw a piece of gum in, but I didn't want to really screw myself up. To anybody that cares, that flu I had, the man flu, it took 21 days to clear up. I had to get some antibiotics. 21 days to clear up. So if anybody has that, good luck. Because man, it is nasty. You know, a lot of this year will be more of staying away from negativity, negative people. You know, I know a lot of people that you know, they worry so much about what other people do, and then they get negative about it. That person's doing that wrong, that person's doing that wrong, and you know, you kind of can get caught up in that. You know, so you know, I try to stay away from that, and I do a good job, I think. Try and stay positive all the time. It's hard to do, especially when it's 40 below. It's hard to do, I'll tell you that right now. It's hard to stay positive when you see, like, let's look at the big picture of who we choose to lead our countries, okay? I'm not getting into politics and all that, but like, if you look at the big picture, all these policies, these signs and these rules, and all these, you know, they want you to feel like a victim, okay? This is my big picture feeling. Just hear me out for a second. They want you to feel like a victim. because then you will use their services, right? Whether it's AISH or welfare or their stimulus or their money they're giving you, because you're a victim. You've been, you know, I lost all my business, I lost this, you know, I lost my wife, my dog died, you know, the country song of life, and that's you, right? So then you go and use their services and it might help you out. Whether it's a food bank or not necessarily food bank. I mean, I've never had to use that. I don't know that whole thing about that, but I'm sure people that are using other services are having to use the food bank. I feel for those people, but you're not a victim. Don't be a victim. But anyway, these governments, they want you to feel like a victim, so you'll use their services, because then when it comes time to vote, I'm sure there's a percentage of those people that say, you know what, I don't want this to end. I'm going to vote for this guy still, just so I can keep getting this stuff. And man, that I think is the downfall, going to be the downfall of democracy. Capitalism. You know, when people start saying to themselves, you're a victim, you deserve money for free, or you deserve this service for free because you've been wrong. The world is against you. And that's all over social media. TikToks and the face craps and the snapgrams and the Insta chats and all that shit. For some reason, and I don't get it, but they're promoting victimhood. And to be a strong, independent person and to voice your opinions, or not your opinions, but to voice your beliefs, that's what they have a problem with. And it's just, Anyway, that's enough of that. Enough. One thing I wanted to say. Going into this new year, I'm getting older, all that stuff. You know what? A hard part to do as you get older is not to let the old guy or old girl in. Do you catch what I'm throwing? Here's me. I'm gonna be, whatever. Constantly saying to myself, don't let the old guy in. I've seen people that are 40, 50, 60 years old. They look like they're 80, 90. They've got attitudes of 70-year-olds. And that's, sorry, no offense to 70-year-olds. My dad just turned 75. Love you, brother. Papa. He doesn't let the old guy in. Works out. Snappy dresser. He's trying his hardest not to let the old guys in. But you guys know what I'm talking about. Those people, a lot of them feel like they're victims, and they're just old. And they might actually be the same age as you. But they're old. Like, you know, the funniest thing is I go out with my dad, and there's people that are probably like late 50s and 60, and they look old compared to him, and he's 75, and I'm like, man, they let the old girl in. You know, it's all attitude. All attitude, visualization, mental. Yeah. So there's one thing you can look forward to in this new year. Not letting the old guy or gal in. Anyway, just a little rant. Little video. Back on the road. Showing you the pipe that I got. Simple load. Man, it's a good way to start the year. This whole, this is actually 1 year of running cross-border, Canada to US. I've never done it before. Most of all I've had my my CDL or my Class 1 or my AZ license. I've had it since 97. So what is that? Carry the 2 divided by 45. That's 25 years, I guess. Now, out of that 25, I spent about 5 years doing other things in the oil patch. So about 20 years I've been kind of driving off and on, or in trucking. I've had a small little fleet and had drivers, so I haven't always been in the truck. But anybody that's owned a fleet, you're the jack of all or the Jill of all trades, and you're always in the truck anyway. So. I don't even know what I was talking about. So anyway, this new year, I've come up kind of with a new slogan. Just everybody says Happy New Year. Well, I've put some comments out on some YouTube channels there that punch 2023 in the face, shove success down its throat. That's how you got to look at this year. Don't sit back and I want to do this and all this. Man, take it by the throat and you tell 2023 what you're doing with it. All of you young guys, my sons who watch this, hopefully their girlfriends, anybody that watches this that is younger, don't be a victim. Take control of your life. Think for yourself. Ask questions of people who have experience. Ask questions of people that you respect, or maybe that you want to just kind of get their opinion on something. You don't have to take it. You don't have to take their opinion at all. But it's kind of nice to go and ask somebody who's been around the world a bit their opinion on something that you're working on. Because you know what's the most frustrating part of life, and you're going to notice that growing up? There's no right answer. Not a single right answer. And I still get frustrated with that. Will somebody please just tell me what to do? Tell me the way to get down the highway and be successful. You can't. There's no right answer. None. I mean, I'm doing pretty good. Got my own truck, got my own trailer. We had a great year, made some good money, worked my butt off, did well. First year cross-border. Like I was saying before, so that's what I was saying before, for 20 years I was mainly Western Canada. We don't go to that eastern part of Canada because that's where, they think a lot differently over there. Just any of you guys that watch this video that are over in eastern Canada, I'm sure you're the nice guys. There's some different thought processes going on over there. Well, that's another video. Anyway. So yeah, this whole cross-border for this whole year, it's been good. Very interesting. I've found how cold I could get, and I found definitely where my heat tolerance is. And 100% humidity, it is not my favorite. Not my favorite. So in the summer I've learned, pack more clothes, pack more underwear. You probably get a change 3-4 times a day, working on flat deck. And you learn as you go, hopefully. So like I said, going forward, don't be a victim. Take control of your lives. Set some boundaries for negative people. Like I'm sure your people out there, as well as people in my life, all they do is think about the past. How they've been wronged. And just the negativity and the hate. that just oozes out of them. You just wonder, like, how does a person go through life thinking like that? Like, I don't get it. And then I get in trouble because I don't get it. So I'm trying. My whole, and my whole thing is I want to do my best to put myself in their shoes. Because once you can figure out how to do that and realize how people think, realize what they're going through, or do your best to try and realize it, then we're not so critical of each other. Because remember, there's no right answer. I'm looking for it. And if I find it, I'll tell you. There's no right answer to investing. There's no right answer to saving money. There's no right answer to what job to have. There's no right answer to planning for your future. There's no right answer to what kind of spice to put in your pasta. There's no right answer to what kind of diet to be on. There's 1,000 of them. It's all trial and error. There's no right answer to what truck to have, what trailer to buy. Although in the future, your truck choices will definitely be limited. Anybody see those new Western Stars going around? They look like Cascadias. What the heck? Excuse me. Anyway. Like I said, punch 2023 in the face, stuff success down its throat, and let's all have a great year.